We're talking about consumer behavior and we're starting right now. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any video that I publish. Consumer behavior is super interesting because it talks about the why, when, where, and how of shopping. Big companies have invested a lot of money in understanding the consumer. When does he or she buy it? Where from does he or she buy it? How is the buying process like? And when does he or she shop? To understand this, we need to understand the consumer black box, or for that matter, is also called the buyer's black box. On the left side, you have some inputs, and on the right side, you have some outputs. The inputs contribute to two sections. One is the marketing stimuli, and the other one is the other stimuli. Marketing stimuli contributes to what is the product, what is the price of the product, where is the product placed, and how is the promotion done. All these factors are important to the consumer. Other stimuli are like economic factors, technological factors, political and cultural. All these factors are very much important as far as the consumer decision is concerned. What is the economic situation? Is the consumer buying a technological product or not? What is the political situation of the country? And the cultural influence. All this is important. All these are inputs to the consumer. And the outputs are pretty simple. The choice of the product, the choice of the brand, the purchase timing, and the purchase amount. Now let's just build up from this consumer behavior that we understood, and let's just apply it to factors influencing consumer behavior. And there are a lot of factors that we're going to cover today. The first thing that we're going to discuss is cultural factors. Culture plays a fundamental role in all our purchasing decisions. We do not know it, but our mind is making them subconsciously. It is one of the reasons why you see McDonald's offering a chapli burger, and the fries are clad in traditional packaging. So, what we eat, how we dress, and what we celebrate is all a part of a culture. Consumer behavior is sometimes dictated by our family and friends. Our friends, we usually hang around with people of the same liking and same interest. It could be a liking of a brand or a habit or a sport that we play together, and that's why we are friends. Marketeers heavily target these group of friends and we call them reference groups. For example, there's a group of people who like Honda. There's a group of people who are invested in dollars. There's a group of people who like the brand Rolex. Right? There's a tendency of these people having the likeness of the same brand, and therefore it's a good chance for marketeers to target these groups. And our family, who take most of our decisions if you're from this part of the world. Personal factors have a heavy take on your shopping list and you know it. For instance, let's talk about age and life cycle. If you're in your teens, you would probably love to wear a pair of torn up jeans, listen to some music, play games on an iPad or an Xbox. But if you're someone who's in his 40s or 50s, would worry to have an insurance policy that would cover for his family, would worry for his sons and daughters' education plans. So, depending upon the age you belong to, the products that you buy define your age. Occupations defines the type of tools one has in his quiver. For example, a doctor would have a stethoscope because it is something that is used in the medical profession. The kind of money or wealth you have defines the brands you check into, the malls you go to, the watch you wear, the car you drive. And it's partly linked with the kind of lifestyle and personality you have. And personality has a lot to do with psychology. Next up, we're talking about psychological factors. And when we talk about psychology, we talk about the mind. And the mind perceives, the mind learns, and the mind has beliefs. When we use a particular product, and the product is actually good, we fall in love with it. An iPhone user will almost never switch to an Android phone. An Android user would never switch to an iPhone. These brands just literally play with our heads. What they try to do is they try to push one product, an iPhone for example, and they make sure that we fall in love with it. And then a year later, they say, hey, we have another iPhone. Would you rather stick to the older and slower version of an iPhone, or would you rather want an upgrade? The consumer is forced to buy a new one because of peer pressure, because of brand endorsement, because of so much advertising. This is what we call a psychological impact on consumer behavior. Moving on, the economy of the country contributes to a lot when it comes to consumer behavior. If the country is progressive, has got a lot of money, there's a lot of buying power. The buying power in turn talks about two things. One is the income level, and the other one is the spending patterns. The income levels are interconnected with the spending patterns that you see around. In the picture, you see two cars fighting over each other. One is of a much greater horsepower. And it says, no one takes me out anymore. The teeny tiny car says, because you drink too much of petrol. Gone are the days when Hondas and Toyota used to have a much heavier engines. Nowadays, Toyotas and Hondas come with a smaller engine. And the reason to that is economy of the country. You see in Pakistan that there is an influx of very teeny tiny cars that are around 600cc. The Miras and the N1s are a daily sight as you go through the streets of Karachi. People simply don't have the buying power to maintain those vehicles that were 3000 cc's and 4000 cc's. They prefer smaller, tinier vehicles nowadays. So let's just go back and see the 5 factors which affected consumer behavior. There were social factors, cultural factors, economic ones, personal ones, and psychological ones. However, there's one more thing which I would like to discuss, which is positioning. It's an important concept. You see, Google has established itself as a search company. When we think of Google, what comes to our mind is that it's a data analyzing company. When we think of FedEx, we think of it as an overnight courier service. When we think of Walmart, we say it's inexpensive. Now, these are some attributes that have deep down seated inside of our minds about the following brands. And as somebody says it, that products are created in factories, but brands are created in the mind. They're positioned in the mind. Let's just leave you with that thought for now. Soon I'll be doing another video which will be on how to position your brand. So if you're interested in that, please stay tuned. Give a thumbs up if you like my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much for watching.